full disclosure, for those that are listening, these questions were not scripted. They didn't know what was going to be posted and discussed today. But one reason that I brought that one up is because we have the privilege of having you as dear close friends.
Yes.
And we knew that you overcame tremendous hurdles before you said I do.
Yes.
And that speaks volumes to your character and why you have such a strong foundation
Yes.
in your union. We thank you because you set a remarkable example of letting your actions speak louder than words. Because, you know, we've had the privilege to see a lot of unions demise and crumble because they say one thing but do another. And you hit on something very important when you were saying you were so concerned, Bradley, about Erica's impression of this guy doesn't have a job. You know, it's easy to start thinking maybe it's going to be negative, but instead, she saw you shine through as someone that would do the right thing and keep God first. And Eric, so many layers of questioning. What is he going to think about me? Because we know circumstances where one spouse gets sick and the other runs.
Yes.
But you were able to see Bradley in action. You said pushing you in the wheelchair there at your therapy sessions. And then a lot of times we're in the moment and we don't think ahead. What about if your cognitive abilities didn't return? Or what if your ability to walk never came back? And he, you know, stood by your side. So both of you were tremendous.
It shows what kind of people you really are. You know?
Absolutely.
Show it, yeah.
Yeah, so we never want to put it past that we might start thinking a certain way or feeling a certain way about our circumstances, but someone else is watching and they're learning a lot about who we really are. So yeah, I think that's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. You know, curious on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not at all and 10 being completely, how much would you say you've changed since your wedding day on an individual level? Because that's something that a lot of people don't consider going into the marriage. They think, I'm marrying Erica and I'm marrying Bradley. But there's that very strong possibility that this person is going to become a different person. So on an individual level, how much would you say? 1 being nothing, 10 being everything. How much have you changed in the few years since you did say I do?
Well, I'll say that there's definitely been, from a scale of 1 to 10, for me, I'd say I've changed at least, I would say, for a scale of 8. And I say 8.
Wow.
I'm not the same person I was when I first got married. And I say that not in a negative way. I say that in a way that I have grown. And I have grown, there's growth in a sense that in a positive way. I've learned a lot what it means to be a wife, what it means to now not look after just my own self, and now consider someone else. So that had to change. My mindset had to change. Instead of I, we. How I make decisions before I make a decision. Talk about it. Hey, honey, you know, I have this idea. Talk about it with him. It goes my head. You know, he makes the decisions for us. And granted, he does hear my suggestions and he has a listening ear to what suggestions I have. But I realize that I can't just, you know, have this single mindset. So that has changed me. Now thinking in that sense, it's not just me, it's us, it's we. And that's just from the marriage union aspect of things, understanding my role, being a support, especially when he may not be feeling up, you know, me being that support to say, honey, you know, it's gonna be okay, you did the best you could. You know, something's out of your control. You can only do what you can. You're doing great. You know, even when he makes mistakes, you know, not harping on the mistakes, looking at the fact that, hey, you know, I'm going to support you anyway. Even even though the decision didn't work out so great, instead of saying I told you so, and you should have listened, having that mind, I would have said that if I was sure to somebody. I'm like, I told you so, and shifting that mind now, thinking of, hey, what can I say that's going to be upbuilding, that's going to be encouraging, as opposed to being something that's going to tear someone down, or that's going to point fingers and cause, hey, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So I say I changed in that sense, the way I think, and why, because it's to build up and not to encourage. And I find that with men, that's very important, because
Absolutely.
it shows that you respect men. And that's one of the things that men need is respect, to crave that. Just like women, we need love. We need to feel love. We need to feel that we're special. And men need to know that they are respected. And so realizing that how I say things, when I say things, or when I do things, or how I do things, not just thinking of just me, but also thinking of, hey, how is it going to affect my mate? For good or for bad. Also, the other aspect of change would be that of a physical nature. For me, I used to be a little bit on a thinner side, a little bit more, wedding pictures would show, oh, that was a little thin, figure on her. Now it's great. Before the wedding day, we
Sneaks up on
for some people, like, I didn't get that dress.
Yeah.
And realizing that he didn't marry me, right? He didn't marry me because of the way I looked only. That wasn't
There you go. There you go.
And his look, that wasn't the sole factor. And I realized that was going to change. How much it was going to change, I couldn't say. But that, for me, I know I've changed physically. My body has changed. I've gained a little bit more weight since I've been married. And just trying to be comfortable in knowing that that's going to happen, but that doesn't diminish the love that we would have for one another, because our bodies are going through these changes. And so when you ask that question, I said, oh, that's a real question. Because it has so many layers to it, as to what changes can happen and what changes I've experienced personally, when I first got married to now. But some are good. Did I like the fact that I put on weight? Not really in the beginning. Like, no, do something about this, and get back to my pre-wedding day body. But realizing that while I won't let myself go and just become like careless about my health, I realized that you couldn't be the sole focus of what I was focusing on. That wasn't what really drew us together. It's how I only, of course he appreciated how I looked. He wasn't going to marry someone who I wasn't attracted to. I wasn't going to marry someone I wasn't physically attracted to. But that wasn't the only thing. Because I realized, that was going to keep. Yeah. Things happen. There are times, a time when I couldn't get active because of my injury, and I had to be mindful so that not to re-injure myself. So that limited my movements and what kind of exercise and what kind of activities I could do. And it was a challenge, because I was just like, I used to be an active person, and I would say that definitely changed. That part of me changed. Right. Mentally, self-talk. What can I tell him? We all often talk about our worst critics, and oftentimes, we feel like it's okay to tell ourselves, be our worst critics, to tell ourselves, horrible things, talk to ourselves in a way that's not kind and not, upbuilding and encouraging. But just because it's us telling it to ourselves doesn't mean that we shouldn't say something that's going to build ourselves up, or build, to invoke a positive mindset. You can say someone else, but I didn't say it to yourself. So I had to kind of shift my thinking there too, because I didn't think I was good enough, or that I didn't feel like myself because that part of me was changed in the physical aspect of me. But I learned to embrace it, realize that there's going to be more to me physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and I have some control as to how I respond to it. And my choice is to try to respond positively, encouraging.
Excellent. No, it's very nice.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to share this video and like, comment, and subscribe. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at NewYouWow. Until next time, stand tall in your power and remember, your belief in yourself is your superpower.